the Labrador Sea. It's a name that conjures up images of icy waters, towering icebergs, and a harsh, unforgiving environment. But it's also a place of incredible beauty, teeming with life, and crucial to the health of our planet. Tucked between the coasts of Canada and Greenland, the Labrador Sea might seem remote, but it plays a vital role in regulating global climate patterns. This body of water is a key player in a complex system of ocean currents that distribute heat around the globe. In the winter, it's a scene of stark beauty, with freezing temperatures and ice covering much of its surface. Yet beneath the ice, life persists, with a surprising diversity of creatures adapted to these extreme conditions. During the short summer months, the sea comes alive with migrating whales, seals, and seabirds, drawn by the abundance of food in its nutrient-rich waters. But the Labrador Sea is facing growing threats from climate change, warming its waters at an alarming rate. The Labrador Sea is often called the gateway to the Arctic. It serves as a crucial connection between the warmer waters of the Atlantic and the frigid Arctic Ocean. This meeting of warm and cold water masses creates a dynamic environment, driving a complex system of currents. The Labrador Current, a cold, southward-flowing current, originates in the Arctic Ocean and flows down along the coast of Labrador. This process helps to mitigate the effects of climate change, but increasing levels of carbon dioxide are putting a strain on the ocean's ability to absorb this greenhouse gas. The Labrador Sea supports a rich web of life, from microscopic plankton to massive whales. However, this delicate ecosystem is under increasing pressure from human activities. Climate change is one of the most pressing challenges, leading to a decline in sea ice cover and changes in marine life. Overfishing and pollution from land-based sources also pose significant threats. The Labrador Sea plays a vital role in the health of our planet, and it's crucial that we take steps to protect this unique ecosystem. The Labrador Sea is home to some of the most iconic creatures on Earth, whales. These majestic giants migrate to these waters each year, drawn by the abundance of food, especially krill. Among the most frequent visitors are humpback whales, known for their acrobatic displays and haunting songs. Fin whales, the second largest animal on Earth, and minke whales are also regular visitors. The presence of these whales is a testament to the productivity of the Labrador Sea, a vital feeding ground for these magnificent creatures. The icy waters of the Labrador Sea are home to a variety of seals, perfectly adapted to life on the edge of the ice. Harp seals, with their distinctive harp-shaped markings, are the most abundant. Hooded seals, named for the inflatable sac on the male's heads, and ringed seals, the smallest of the Arctic seals, are also found here. These seals are a vital part of the food web, preyed upon by polar bears and other Arctic predators. However, the shrinking ice cover due to climate change poses a significant threat to their survival. While the whales and seals may be the most visible inhabitants, the true heart of the Labrador Sea's ecosystem lies beneath the surface. Here, in the cold, dark depths, thrives a diverse community of fish, invertebrates, and other marine life. Atlantic cod, caplin, herring, and Greenland halibut are important parts of the ecosystem. Invertebrates like krill, shrimp, and jellyfish form the base of the food chain. This hidden world is a testament to the incredible biodiversity of the Labrador Sea. The marine life of the Labrador Sea is interconnected in a complex web of life. This delicate balance is now facing unprecedented challenges as the climate changes and human activities impact the region. Understanding these connections is crucial for ensuring its preservation. Protecting this symphony is about safeguarding the intricate web of life that makes this region so unique and important. The Labrador Sea, often perceived as a frigid expanse, is far from static. Beneath its surface churns a powerful force, an intricate system of ocean currents that act as the engine of the global climate system. The Labrador Sea, situated at a critical juncture where warm and cold currents collide, plays a pivotal role in this global circulation system. This interaction drives a process known as thermohaline circulation, often referred to as the ocean conveyor belt. The Labrador Sea's unique confluence of currents is crucial in driving this global circulation pattern. Originating in the Arctic Ocean, the Labrador Current flows southward along the coast of Canada, carrying frigid waters and icebergs. This cold current acts as a counterbalance to the warmer Gulf Stream, helping to moderate temperatures in the North Atlantic region. The Labrador Current's influence extends far beyond its immediate vicinity, chilling the air above it and influencing weather patterns. The Labrador Current also plays a crucial role in the formation of sea ice in the Labrador Sea. However, the southward flow of this cold current carries icebergs, posing a hazard to navigation. The interaction of the Labrador Current with the warmer Gulf Stream in the Labrador Sea is a critical component of the global ocean conveyor belt. This conveyor belt, driven by differences in temperature and salinity, plays a vital role in regulating Earth's climate. The process begins in the tropics, where warm surface waters are heated by the sun and carried poleward by surface currents. As these currents reach the high latitudes, they cool, becoming denser and sinking to the ocean depths. The Labrador Sea plays a critical role in this process, driving the global circulation pattern. The Labrador Sea is undergoing rapid changes as climate change tightens its grip on the planet. The warming atmosphere is causing sea ice to melt at an alarming rate, disrupting the delicate balance of this unique ecosystem. The most visible impact is the shrinking sea ice cover, which has profound implications for the region's ecosystem and the global climate system. Sea ice plays a vital role in the life cycle of many marine species, such as harp seals. The decline in sea ice is also affecting the Labrador Sea's ability to absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. As sea ice melts, the ocean is exposed to the atmosphere, allowing it to absorb more carbon dioxide. The Labrador Sea, with its unique confluence of currents, its diverse marine life, and its sensitivity to climate change, stands as a sentinel, a harbinger of the changes sweeping across the planet. The fate of this remote sea is inextricably linked to our own, a stark reminder that the consequences of our actions resonate far beyond our immediate surroundings. As climate change continues to reshape the planet, the Labrador Sea serves as a critical barometer, reflecting the profound transformations underway. The changes observed in this region, from the decline in sea ice to the shifts in marine life, are a stark warning of the challenges that lie ahead. Yet, amidst these challenges, the Labrador Sea also offers a glimmer of hope. The resilience of nature, its ability to adapt and persevere, is evident even in the face of unprecedented change. The Labrador Sea, with its vast expanse and its intricate web of life, possesses an inherent capacity for renewal. The challenge before us is to heed the warnings of the Labrador Sea, to understand the consequences of our actions, and to take decisive steps to mitigate the impacts of climate change. The fate of the Labrador Sea, and indeed the fate of our planet, hinges on our collective will to act. The Labrador Sea, a place of stark beauty, is facing a new threat: climate change. This vast expanse is warming at an alarming rate, impacting its delicate ecosystem and the global climate. The warming is driven by greenhouse gases, primarily carbon dioxide from fossil fuels. These gases trap heat, causing the planet to warm. Oceans absorb much of this heat, leading to rising temperatures. The Labrador Sea is particularly vulnerable, where Arctic currents meet warmer waters. Increased melting of glaciers adds fresh water, altering salinity and disrupting ocean currents. The The most visible impact of climate change on the Labrador Sea is the rapid decline of sea ice. Sea ice expands in winter and contracts in summer, playing a vital role in the ecosystem. It provides a platform for seals to give birth, a hunting ground for polar bears, and a habitat for ice-dependent organisms. Rising temperatures are causing unprecedented melting. Summer sea ice has shrunk dramatically in recent decades, becoming thinner and less resilient. This decline affects the entire ecosystem. Harp seals rely on sea ice to give birth and nurse their pups. As sea ice disappears, so do their breeding grounds. Pups on thinner ice are more vulnerable to predators, leading to decreased survival rates. Polar bears are also affected by shrinking ice. They are adapted to hunting seals on the ice. As ice retreats, they spend more time on land, competing with other predators for food. The decline in sea ice impacts the global climate. Sea ice reflects sunlight, regulating Earth's temperature. Melting ice reveals darker ocean water, absorbing more heat, amplifying the warming effect. The warming waters and shrinking sea ice of the Labrador Sea are placing immense pressure on the region's marine life, forcing them to adapt to a rapidly changing environment. Some species are proving more adaptable than others, while others are struggling to keep pace with the changing conditions, their survival hanging in the balance. Fish populations, for example, are being impacted by the changing temperatures and currents. Some species, such as capelin, a small silvery fish that is a vital food source for many larger predators, are shifting their distribution northward as waters warm. This shift in distribution can disrupt the delicate balance of the ecosystem, as predators may be forced to travel farther or switch to less desirable prey, leading to potential food shortages. Other fish species, such as Atlantic cod, are struggling to cope with the changing conditions. Cod populations in the Labrador Sea have yet to recover from the overfishing that decimated their numbers in the late 20th century. The warming waters and changing ocean currents are further stressing these depleted populations, making it even more difficult for them to rebuild. The warming waters are also attracting new species to the Labrador Sea, some of which may compete with native species for resources or introduce new diseases. This influx of new species further alters the dynamics of the ecosystem, with unpredictable consequences. The changing conditions in the Labrador Sea are a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of life on Earth. What happens in this remote region has implications for the entire planet, from the food security of coastal communities to the regulation of global climate patterns. Climate change is not the only threat facing the Labrador Sea. Human activities, from pollution to overfishing, are also taking their toll on this fragile ecosystem, creating a toxic brew that is putting the health of the sea and its inhabitants at risk. Pollution from land-based sources such as industrial waste, agricultural runoff, and sewage flows into the Labrador Sea via rivers and streams, carrying with it a cocktail of harmful chemicals, including pesticides, fertilizers, and heavy metals. These pollutants can accumulate in the tissues of marine organisms, leading to a range of health problems, from reproductive issues to organ damage. Plastic pollution is another growing concern in the Labrador Sea. Plastic debris, from single-use plastics to discarded fishing gear, can persist in the environment for centuries, breaking down into smaller and smaller pieces but never truly disappearing. Marine animals often mistake these plastic fragments for food, ingesting them with potentially fatal consequences. Overfishing is another major threat to the Labrador Sea's delicate ecosystem. Decades of unsustainable fishing practices, driven by high demand and lax regulations, have depleted fish stocks throughout the world's oceans, including the Labrador Sea. While some efforts are being made to rebuild fish stocks, overfishing continues to be a problem, disrupting the balance of the ecosystem and threatening the livelihoods of coastal communities that depend on fishing. The combined effects of climate change and human activities are creating a perfect storm for the Labrador Sea, pushing this once pristine ecosystem to the brink. Section 5. The future of the fjord. The Labrador Sea, facing the dual threats of climate change and human activities, stands at a crossroads. The choices we make today will determine the fate of this vital ecosystem and the countless species that depend on it, including our own. The challenges are daunting, but not insurmountable. Addressing climate change requires a global effort to reduce greenhouse gas emissions through a transition to cleaner sources of energy, increased energy efficiency, and sustainable land management practices. Protecting the Labrador Sea from pollution requires a concerted effort to reduce waste, minimize the use of harmful chemicals, and improve waste management practices. Sustainable fishing practices, based on scientific data and a precautionary approach, are essential to rebuild depleted fish stocks and ensure the long-term health of the ecosystem. International cooperation is essential to address the transboundary nature of many of the threats facing the Labrador Sea. Collaboration among governments, scientists, industry, and local communities is crucial to develop and implement effective conservation measures. The Labrador Sea, with its stark beauty, its vital role in the global climate system, and its incredible biodiversity, is a precious resource that deserves our protection. By understanding the challenges facing this unique ecosystem and taking action to address them, we can help ensure that the Labrador Sea continues to thrive for generations to come. Section 1. A Sea at Risk. The Labrador Sea, a place of breathtaking beauty, is at a crossroads. Climate change and pollution threaten its delicate ecosystem. Warming waters, shrinking ice cover, and shifting currents are reshaping the sea. The decline of sea ice threatens species like the harp seal. Pollutants and microplastics add stress to the ecosystem. These changes impact the food chain and our plates. The Labrador Sea is sending us an urgent message. We must act now to protect this vital ecosystem. Section 2. Guardians of the Labrador Sea. Despite the daunting challenges, there is hope for the Labrador Sea. The very resilience that has allowed this ecosystem to thrive for millennia, adapting to natural fluctuations in temperature and ice cover, can also be harnessed to mitigate the impacts of human-induced change. But it requires a shift in mindset, a recognition that we are not merely exploiters of the ocean's bounty, but its guardians, entrusted with its care for present and future generations. This guardianship takes many forms. It is embodied in the tireless work of scientists who brave harsh conditions to study the intricate workings of the Labrador Sea ecosystem, unraveling the complex interplay of currents, climate, and marine life. Their research provides the foundation for informed decision-making, guiding policies aimed at mitigating the impacts of climate change and pollution. It is reflected in the efforts of indigenous communities who have lived in harmony with the Labrador Sea for centuries. Their traditional knowledge passed down through generations, a rich tapestry of understanding about the rhythms of the sea and its inhabitants. Their voices are crucial in shaping conservation strategies that respect both ecological and cultural values. It is demonstrated by the commitment of governments and organizations that are working to establish marine protected areas, safeguarding critical habitats from the most harmful impacts of human activities. These underwater havens provide a refuge for marine life, allowing ecosystems to recover and adapt, preserving biodiversity for future generations. Section 3. A Call to Action. The fate of the Labrador Sea is not predetermined. It is a story still being written, a narrative in which we all play a role. The choices we make today, both individually and collectively, will determine the course of this story, shaping the legacy we leave for future generations. The time for complacency is over. The time for action is now. Reducing our reliance on fossil fuels, transitioning to cleaner sources of energy, embracing sustainable practices in our daily lives. These are not just abstract ideals, but concrete actions that can make a real difference. Supporting policies that promote conservation, holding industries accountable for their environmental impact, demanding greater transparency and responsibility from our leaders. These are not just political acts, but moral imperatives. Educating ourselves about the challenges facing the Labrador Sea, sharing our knowledge with others, inspiring action in our communities. These are not just individual endeavors, but collective responsibilities. The Labrador Sea, though vast and seemingly remote, is intimately connected to each of us, its fate intertwined with our own. The call to action is not a burden, but a privilege, an opportunity to be part of something larger than ourselves, to contribute to a legacy of stewardship and hope. Let us answer this call with courage, with determination, and with a deep sense of responsibility for the planet we share. Let us be the generation that turns the tide, that chooses a path of sustainability and resilience, that ensures the Labrador Sea continues to inspire awe and wonder for generations to come.